Oh, last one for today. Am I all right to take my coat off before I do introduction? Because somebody in the comment section don't like me taking my coat off. So, if you want to leave it on, I'll take it off. I'll leave it on. I don't want you complaining. But like I said to you, you need to get out more. Right. Hello, all you hardcores. How are you doing? Where are you spinning around in my chair? Hey. Lucy from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say. Right, the Gad. You've been trappy again, Gad, haven't you? Take my name out of your mouth is what I should be saying, but I ain't really bothered. My name's on everybody's lips last couple of days because I tell it straight. I'm not like you, Gad. Uh, I'm just thinking now about this Thomas Hauser thing, right? Thomas Hauser. Right. Thomas Hauser, esteemed journalist. Yeah, esteemed journalist. Done books on Muhammad Ali, one of his closest friends in boxing and confidant. Is one of his mentors. They got on great. They go back years. They're from that era where they all used to sit in Graciano's in New York and have a Bloody Mary and whatnot with Burt Sugar and all those old school guys. They're like, we call it boxing royalty, don't we? In the media, your Thomas Hausers are boxing royalty. Trust me, boxing royalty. Shattered today, mate. Absolutely shattered. Boxing royalty. And I'm disappointed that YouTubers, YouTubers, are disrespecting Thomas Hauser. And they know who they are, these new breed. Well, some of them should know better. But they can't go against the status quo, can they? They can't. So the Gad. We all know what your favourite sweet corn is, don't we? Bing! Don't we like that thumbnail? Well, YouTube cleared it, so it must be a good thumbnail. Normally, some of them that I put up, they get refused within like 20 seconds. You're not bringing that out. Or you're not going to get your whack for that one. So, but Thomas Hauser's not going to get access to Eddie Hills, is he? Do you know why? Because he's going to be like me when I were waiting for Eddie Hills to ambush him on here. You wouldn't take the bait, would you, Eduardo? Not even billboards could get him out, and his ego's that big, isn't it? And we're never going to come on here. Not with Terry and Rico putting questions out for me. That was a while ago, that long time ago when I first started doing this. When I thought there were shortcuts to success. Now I realise that the only way to get your channel big is to keep your mouth shut. And we all know how long my press credentials lasted, didn't they? I were gone 2 days quicker than Cloughie at Leeds United. Brian Clough, he lasted 44 days. I lasted 42. That's a true story. Because I've got a big mouth. And I'm not going to let people off a hook. Not when people are getting punched in the head and ripped off left, right, and centre. No. Promoters don't get punched in the head, do they? No. They hit a bag, don't they, or a speedball, don't they? They don't get punched in the head, do they, for a living, like boxers do. Having to run around in all weathers, trying to sell tickets to get a few quid. So Thomas Hauser, he's not going to get his moment with Eddie Hills. What Eddie Hills is going to do is going to have your Puppy Parsons, Michelle Phelps, Kugan Cassius's, Andrew McCart's, all them Boxing Social, IFLs, them sort of people. Your Danny Flexons, who's got access to Bricktop's Arsenal box. Umar and Cougs. They're going to go sit in Frank Warren's box at Arsenal watching Premier League football and Champions League football. And then they're going to go at Bricktop on a Monday. No, they're not going to put it on him. Same as all these who go to these little functions that Eddie has. when he softens them up and he's laughing at them behind the scenes, they're not going to ask him questions because they know, well, I'll not be able to go to Mexico on a Matchroom free flight ticket and a free hotel and perks. They're not going to do it. Eddie's going to do interviews with them. So basically, they're like employees that are interviewing him. That's the bottom line. It's all there. It's all in front of you. People keep saying you're banging on about it. Too right, I'm banging on about it. I'm not saying it's corruption, but they're trying to get a narrative out there, and it's legal what they're doing. But you, the fans, are falling for it because you believe in everything you're told. None of these people are asking challenging questions. So this is what I'm going to suggest. Thomas Hauser, he don't even want to come on Porky's Corner. He says he hasn't got time to come on Porky's Corner. Thomas, you can say your bit on here anytime you want. Anytime you want. Well, how can I go into bat for you if you're not going to get access to Eddie Hills? Why don't you ask me the questions that you wanted to ask Eddie Hills? And I'll put it out for you. But you haven't got time to come on here. I understand that because I'm a small channel. Right? Well, why? 13,520 subs or something? It ain't a lot, is it? But 58,000 different accounts accessed my channel last month. So it's not my fault that 45,000 of them don't know how to subscribe, is it? All you do is press a button. But that's okay. Because people in the boxing industry are watching this. I'm not really bothered about casuals and that. As long as laminate holders are watching this, because they're mainly the ones that I have a problem with. Most of them anyway. Not so much the boxers. The people around it. And it's Sam Jones. People like you. And you Steffi Bowles and all them. Them will want to get on, but they want to cut other people's legs off. A bit like Eddie as well. He gives bullets to fire, don't you? Eddie Hills gives them all bullets to fire. Yeah, it's very good how they do it. Very good. It's a good little system they've got. I look every single day and there's 4 or 5 big posts out. Not videos, posts from IFL regarding stuff and favours that are going on behind the scenes. But it's not getting shared out, is it? We know what goes on, don't we? We know. And like I said, you get casualties in the sport. Look at David Allen now. There's nobody ringing him or knocking on his door, is there? They were hanging out the back of him at one point. It all became too much for him. A young lad in his 20s. Who's looking out for him? That kid. He's a nice kid. Took bad advice. It all became too much for him. Can hardly talk now. Have you heard him? He's not even 32 yet. Can hardly talk properly. Who's looking out for him? And who's going to look out for him in 10 years? Nobody, are they? Nobody. So I want to see Thomas Hauser go on the Gad's YouTube channel, or the Gad get him on. But you daren't dare you, because you don't want to upset Eddie. You see, if Eddie blocks somebody or gives them a bit of stick, the rest all follow. Victor Conte. People need to email Victor Conte for me or get in touch with him on Twitter. See, I got kicked off Twitter as well. Eddie were behind that one, Eddie. It don't matter now. Twitter's more toxic than ever. If I've got anything to say, I say it on here, not on Twitter. There's fake Porky accounts out there. We just do YouTube. If I've got something to say, it's on here. All right, that's it. That's it. I get my point across looking into a camera. Not behind a keyboard. So, thank you very much. The 4 people today who gave me the phone number who keep emailing me all the time. I don't know about the rest of you, because you've all had emails and you've gone quiet. Isn't it amazing how when you say, well, if you feel that strongly about it, send me your phone number and I'll ring you. I'll ring you up. I'll ring you on this. On WhatsApp video. Silence. Hey? Are they laminate holders? We're not going to get to know, are we? But Thomas Hauser should be interviewed by the Gad, but the Gad daren't go near him. The Gad won't go near Thomas Hauser or Victor Conte. The other one, who none of them want to go near, is it Barbershop Conversations, the American people? Remember them chasing Eddie Hills out the arena, out there in America? We all remember that, don't we? When he was running to taxi with Spotty Frank. Yeah. He was putting it on you, wasn't he, Eddie? He don't get access now, does he? And this is what happens. They don't want to speak to anybody that's going to ask challenging questions. Now, John Fury, bless him, big old John Fury, big fighting man, in the ring or on the hard road. Pop, pop, bang! MI5 are watching me from the moon. I've been out of jail 9 years. I'll fight any man. You've not had a fight in 9 years since you come out. The last fight you had, with a guy that big, he comes up to there on me, little Opie, and he's about 1.5 stone less than me in weight. About 140 pounds, I'm about 161. Yeah, lived over here at one point on camp. Yeah, true story. That's the last fight you had, and you flogged him. Tried to take both his eyes out. One come out, other one nearly out, in front of his 2 children. You're a right lovely bloke, you. One of your own, aren't you? With Big John, it's about respect and honourability. An honourable man. My word is my bond. Yeah. Yeah, great bloke, isn't he? Yeah, you all keep giving him access, don't you? All keep indulging him. When anybody mentions anything he doesn't like or asks him a challenging question, you've just seen what happened, haven't you? And Boxing Social edited most of the hard stuff out of it, the hard stuff, eh? Big bully. Gad, get Thomas Hauser interviewed and get Victor Conte interviewed. So that's what I want to see. Victor Conte is supposed to be the biggest expert on PEDs in America. He is the man. Didn't he work for the government now? At one point, he was against them. Now he helps them out, and he's gone other way in his life. I don't know what to make of that, but obviously only good can come from it if he's doing things right. Eddie's not going to go anywhere near him, and he won't go near Thomas Hauser. Thomas Hauser is an esteemed journalist. He's got loads of respect from the Americans. He's friends with Aram. He knows them all, Don King, Ali, Fraser. Before a lot of them passed away. This guy is steeped in American boxing history. His books are bestsellers. And I think it's sad that Eddie can do all these interviews with all these people every day. Where's that? December. Hang on, December. Oh, yeah. Got it in here. Looks in the middle of these photos. There we are. 122 interviews in December leading up to Christmas. And how many were on for January so far? What's the average in about 12 to 18 a day? So he hasn't got 20 minutes for Thomas Hauser, but yet he can talk with Coogan Cassius about pickled onion crisps and Monster Munch and all of it. Salt and vinegar chipsticks. Well, in America they call them potato chips, don't they? Salt and vinegar chipsticks. Tom Ford sunglasses, but he can't give Thomas Hauser 20 minutes of his time. Why is that? Because he's frightened to death. That's why. That's why John Roly Poly won't come on here. You know, the Irishman with big belly hanging over his belt. He's not going to come on here, is he, and face me. Not when they think they're going to be put under pressure. Put under pressure. No, they're going to keep it in-house. So I think it's quite sad, really, that Eddie's bottled it. What have you got to hide, Eddie? What? What is there to hide? Hey, it is what it is, isn't it? But, okie dokie. Which brings me to, I might as well finish up on this, saves doing another video, because I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered going on about things, about this other stuff. Coogan, your mate, Crusher Ben. Now, I don't know what you did before this, Coogan. Weren't you an extra in EastEnders? Weren't you like some bloke just sat there in Eaton Beale's cafe or something, some big actor? Well, at least you're not running around saying you're an Hollywood actor. Romford actor, is it? Your big mate, Coogan, Crusher Ben, not once have you said to him, Crusher, or Connor, how did clomiphene get in your system? I've not heard you ask that once in 20 months. I know he's your pal on that, and it's a bit hard on that. Not once have you asked him. What I want to know is this, right? Why are they playing the mental health card now, saying he was suicidal? He weren't suicidal when he were going on Piers Morgan and getting aggressive, and when Eubank got beat against Beefy, and all these other times when he's been flaring up on social media and showing his Rolls Royces off and his 100 whatever, a 98 grand watch or whatever. It's just a bit of jewelry, innit? You know, you can't take it with you. It's like a car. A car is a piece of tin, innit, really? But I didn't see any mental health issues then or suicidal thoughts. But once you've gone down all these avenues that they've gone down for 20 months with lawyers, meetings and meetings cancelled and up and down, up and down, up and down. We've heard it all for 20 months. Me and Julian McGowan said at the very beginning, well, we'll have to go mental health through it in the end. We said that after 1 month. I said it. Because you know when you go the mental health route, oh, I'm suicidal, how can anybody say, oh, nobody's allowed to question you then, are they? It's a get out, innit? It's like somebody ringing up here. I can't come in, I feel suicidal. Yeah, it happens. You don't wash with me, that though. I don't wash with Russell. Oh, no. Listen, you know, my dad worked at Pitt, and my granddad's and my uncles. If they rung up and say, oh, you know, I feel a bit low today, I'm a bit depressed. I said, no problem, don't come in, but you don't get paid. You know, they wouldn't pay you. You know, so it don't wash with me that it's a cop out. Everybody uses it as a cop out because we live in a fragile society now, and that's the last resort. That's the last card that Crusher Ben can play. I don't believe it. We all know the Fury one were rubbish, don't we? Utter rubbish. Absolute rubbish. If it weren't rubbish, why did he pay Mick Hennessy off? Mick Hennessy were going to expose it as rubbish, wasn't he, in court? Oh, yeah. They panicked, didn't they, and paid him up. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Yeah, Mick can't talk about it, but he's happy. Yeah, they didn't want to talk about that, did they? Allegedly. So Crusher's got mental health route now. I was suicidal and that. So it's violins out now. So nobody's going to be able to say a word now. Not a word. Not a word. And you've got people like Michelle Phelps pushing it on Boxing Social, Coogan and IFL, all the rest of them, seconds out. They're all going to push the mental health thing now and tiptoe around poor little Crusher, who's been running around with a load of gloves, whacking people in the head. And when he got caught, they've tried every lie in the book and every trick in the book, but not once have they said how they got clomiphene in his system. Not once. Strict liability, isn't it? Not once. So I ain't falling for that. If boxing fans want to fall for that, whatever. But what you're going to see now, you're going to see people wrapped around Crusher Ben all push the same narrative. You're going to see Johnny Bosch Fisher, the Romford Bull, and all that Essex lot. Sims's lot are going to push it. Nigel Benn's going to push it. They're all going to push the old mental health now and suicidal. So you leave him alone and build a career like Fury did. Off at back of it, when technically Fury had 3 drug issues. He had 1 that were ongoing and 2 when he messed up after. And he dug his son in an hole from here to Calcutta. Yeah, he got out of it by playing mental health card. Liam Cameron didn't play mental health card over here. He got a 4-year ban for cocaine, took it on chin. Fury had a cocaine refusal and that other one, what they blamed Wild Boar on. What a load of crap that was. And got 2-year ban. How can that be? How can that be? Liam Cameron fights on February the 9th. And he's a shadow of his former self. He has his second comeback fight. He was at ring 4.5 years. Who's watching out for Liam Cameron? Coogan, have you been up there to give Liam Cameron an interview? No. But you'll hang out back of these lot. Why? Because they do views. You did it with Dave Allen. You did it with Dylan White. They're no good to you now, them, are they? Tyson Fury, Joshua, Eddie. Look, we know, don't we? Crusher Ben. You've got all access. Once they're no good to you, they're no good, are they, Coogan? That's how I look at it. It's about views for these people and using and abusing people. That's all it is. But it is what it is, isn't it? But I'm not buying the mental health issue with Conor Ben. I don't believe it one bit. He's not showing any mental health in the last 20 months at all. I mean, if he's got mental health issues, who's signing him off to keep fighting? He just had a fight in October. He's now come out, I've got mental health, I've got mental health, I've been depressed and all that. He's fighting in a couple of days. So take his license off him if he's got mental health. He might do something crazy. Take his driving license off him. You get your driving license took off you now in UK if you start coming out with this mental health rubbish. They take it off you. Yeah, go to your doctor telling you you've got mental health issues. First thing he'll say is, have you got a driving license? And when they get all around to them, they're taking the licenses off them now. And everybody's like, oh, do you know what? I ain't got mental health now. I'm all right now. Because they're stopping them having cars, a lot of them. So if they're taking all these free cars that they get off them on disability, what the families drive about in, they'll take it off them again, won't they? Take the licenses off them, should I say? It's all a con, isn't it? It's all a con, so that it looks good. But in these appeals and all this rubbish, nobody dare throw out at them, dare they? That's how I look at it. Mental health, a load of rubbish. Load of rubbish. So, okie dokie. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Booyaka.